The Spur controls everything. The conversation is dominated by the Spurg. Over the next 2 hours or however long they stay sober, you will lose intelligence. Enjoy Theta Thursday. Your hosts, Dawn and Rhea, Mifune, and some shitty guests.
There we go. That's the proper one. Welcome, everybody, to this week's Theta Thursday. How's everyone doing today?
We have $1,000,000, bud.
$1,000,000 bucks? $1,000,000 space bucks for Pizza the Hut?
$1,000,000 Canadian dollars. $1,000,000 isn't what it was like, or is worth as much as it was when I was a kid. Anyways, who cares? Look, we've got a good show tonight. We've got our usuals, Ghost Ursanski. We got Dominic, who pops by here and now and every once in a while. We've got Mifune pushing the buttons, doing all the cool shit that Don and I are too dumb to do. And of course, Don. And we have a special guest that
should be coming shortly.
And we should ping this out because there's only 18 people watching.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I don't know.
We are an hour late, Greg.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is it true? We have a question in the chat. Is it true there is a war in the North? That is true. Sort of. Fraternity has declared war against Brave a couple of weeks ago. They've all been fighting, and at first it kind of seemed like an FRT steamroll. And what's really funny about it is that Brave and Volta are actually winning right now, as far as I understand. And what's even funnier is that Fraternity did exactly what Pappy did. And Fraternity dropped a Fortizar right in front of Brave's staging Cubestar, and they have not used it at all. Like, they haven't touched that Fortizar. They anchored it, they fueled it, they cored it, and then it's just sitting there. It's literally doing nothing. You have the occasional Fraternity Scout undocking, but they do fucking nothing with it. It's absolutely hilarious. But yeah.
Kill Brave Capitals with it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but Fraternity is also losing, like, what do they lose? 3, 4, 500 bill in dreads with that huge fight a couple of weeks ago.
There was a huge fight?
Yeah, like 800 something people.
Interesting.
I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah, there was some Eve news. I think we talked about this last week, but I think this is the first weekend that it came into effect, was the weekend fleet pack shit. Now, did anybody track the player count or whatever the fuck it is over the weekend to see if the player count went up at the weekend? People went, hey, I want to drop $2.99 to go on fleets this weekend.
We can check.
Can you make a chart and or a graph?
No, but I can look at Eve offline real quick and get back to you in a second here.
Wait.
Okay.
I just told you there were 7 more people last weekend. That's it.
So over the past, when did it start? It started like what, October 2nd?
Sure, let's say October 2nd.
On October 7th, we peaked at 23K, and as of today, we peaked at 19.5K. So it hasn't really changed with the changes, and I don't think that these stuff like the Plex sales and the reduced Omega price when you are plexing and stuff like that, it's very weird to me, right? And it's kind of coming from all directions. People are saying that they're doing it to crash the Plex market, which is partly true, because Plex prices have just like shot up enormously, up to 6.5 million per Plex, I believe was the peak, during the whole craze of the situation. And now it's back down to 4.7, so they kind of did it to crash the Plex market a little bit. Other people are saying they're doing it to try to get people to buy more, to pump the financial numbers, since the end of the financial quarter is coming up, and they want to look more impressive when they face the PA overlords.
Yeah, that's coming up, right?
Which
They've
I
gotta
guess
do like a fucking financial report soon, don't they?
Yeah, so I guess
How's that gonna work out for them?
Well, I guess that's
Oh,
I guess that's also partly true that they've been doing all these sales recently to try and pump those numbers up to make it look like they're making more money.
Speaking of money, we'd like to thank Reckless 2152 for 19 months with their fucking Prime. Thank you, Reckless, and thank you, Jeff Bezos.
Hey, you're welcome. Anything I can do to help.
And Drusus with 51 months.
Shh, you're not supposed to out yourself, man. That's doxing.
It's all right.
Yeah, Drusus, how's it going, man? 51 months. That's like fucking
That's
like
coin.
that's 11 years, isn't it?
I lost access to my Ghost
So-
Twitch account, so that's the second one.
I think I have to burn through like 12 or 13 Twitch accounts by now.
So the other
Man, pretty easily.
So the other weird thing that's I don't know, I consider it weird and a lot of other players are considering it weird, that CCP as of today, I believe as of this morning's downtime, pretty much if you are buying Omega Time with your Plex, the discount for multiple months now applies. So kind of like how if you went and you bought a month's worth of Eve, it was I should say $15, and then if you bought 6 months, it was like $30 something, whatever, how they discount the bulk price. They're now also doing that with buying Omega through Plex. So now if you buy 6 months worth of Omega with Plex, you get a discount on it compared to if you just buy 1 month.
That makes sense, though, right? It gets people playing the game and ratting and trying to Plex their account, and like because a lot of people are really into that. Here's what game, right?
Here's what confuses me. Months ago, CCP, yes, everything. CCP comes out a couple months ago and says, "Oh, due to inflation and price reevaluations, we have to up the cost of the subscriptions." And then I can tell you, because I had a conversation about this in the CSM Discord earlier this week, there has been more EVE Online dev blogs about sales than there has been about a new expansion that we are less than 60 days from. And that seems a little weird to me, right? Like, I feel like I'm walking in a Walmart where they're just casually showing you, oh yeah, everything's on sale. Everything's half price. If you don't buy this in the next 2 days, then this item is going to go up by like $60 in price.
There's
I feel
sales at Walmart because they're all everyday low prices.
That
fucking point of Walmart.
That's kind of the point of the joke I'm making.
Save money, live better, yeah.
Right, like I feel like it's that sunk cost fallacy setting in, and I really, really, really feel like we're starting to head towards that gotcha game levels of saleage, if that makes sense.
I just prefer to find my value at Farm and Fleet.
Oh, what can you get there?
Everything. If you can't get it at Farm and Fleet, you don't need it.
Do they have like hats, like free hats if you buy it so much?
Oh, of course.
Can I have a Farm and Fleet hat?
Of course, Greg.
Awesome, man.
I've never heard of Farm and Fleet. What is that?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's like a farm store, but they have like some food items and a bunch of clothing and shit too. A bunch of parts, Milwaukee tools, the usual.
So it's like Costco.
Shill Ghoster for
But-
Farm and Fleet?
No, I just it's a fucking running
That's
joke.
a great store. What are you talking about? It's a good store.
It's a running joke in farm country, Greg. If you can't find it at Farm and Fleet, you don't fucking need it.
So like Costco, but with tools and shit.
Yeah, for men. It's Costco for men, Mifune. So
Costco for
you might
men?
want to stick with
Is
Costco.
Costco feminine?
Yeah, man, I never realized. I mean, come on, at Costco, I can get like fucking 2 months worth of fucking toilet paper in one day. Like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, can we roll the ad for sponsorship clip for Farm and Fleet?
Nah, what we really need is we need to be sponsored by G Fuel. I mean, come on, they're the only brand that can match our energy.
So I think I've just heard that apparently the CEO of G Fuel is like, I don't know, beating his employees or something.
Wait,
Like did one of the secretary.
So
Yeah.
Commissar
Wait.
asks in the comments, is it like Fleet Farm? Yes, it is the exact same company. Fleet Farm and Farm and Fleet are brothers.
No, they're are they enemies?
Hold
They're
on.
enemies.
Well, they're brothers. So
Hate each other,
Wisconsin
though.
is Fleet Farm, Illinois is Farm and Fleet. Same fucking concept.
Iowa is Fleet Farm also. We have Fleet Farm.
Okay, yeah.
We hate Farm and Fleet. When people, in fact, people go to Farm and Fleet, we usually hunt them down and beat them.
See,
Come on down.
see, if anything, if I could have one store in North Carolina, it'd be fucking Micro Center. Like, Micro Center needs to expand to the East Coast, please.
If North Carolina could have one store, it should be a dentist.
You say that like they're Great Britain.
Have you been to North Carolina?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm sorry. He's not. Oh, damn it.
I've been drinking. Sorry.
Don't you guys have Canadian Tire down there? Like, that's a fucking good store, man.
Canadian Tire.
We do.
Greg,
We do
our
have Canadian
tires are
Tire down here.
round, not square.
And they're actually made of rubber, and they don't have spikes on them.
Yeah.
No, it's like more than just tires now. It used to be like it was like tires and automotive and hardware. Now they sell fucking everything in there.
Canadian
Dildos?
tires
Do
are
they sell
doing, like,
dildos?
your dildos?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Are they
you
made
say
out of
everything, you
recycled
better
square
check. I
tires?
look for shit like that to make sure. I like truth in advertisement. So
I would imagine you could probably find something that you could use as a dildo at Canadian Tire.
nah, that's it.
What are we? What? Also, where's our
Dildos,
guest?
Don, you invited
Dawn,
me.
I
So
don't know, man.
It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I agree with Don. What does
We're on a mission from God.
Does
I'm
anyone
looking
know?
for him on. I'm looking for him on Jabber, and I can't find him. Maybe.
I mean, he
Does
did
he-
say he was going to be putting children to bed, so
yeah.
always possible.
Yeah, we're not in a rush. We don't want to
Tell him
hurry.
to bring him on.
Well, hopefully that's not
Sure,
evil.
from here.
Anyway, so we did
Yeah,
have
this
some.
is a family-friendly show.
This
guys.
is a family-friendly fucking show, okay?
Okay,
can't
well,
be that if we don't have kids.
while we're waiting for our guest, there wasn't too much that happened this week, other than I guess last week was a debate on high set ganking versus no high set ganking.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I've got kind of the scoop on this. So there is a EVE Online content creator. He's
Who is it?
He's
What's
an
his
NC.
name, Mifune?
I'm about to get to that. Jesus fuck. Yeah, he's an NC dot. His name is Hateless, and basically the thing is that he makes most of his money in high sec, and he does a bunch of high sec things. And he basically started a bit of a conversation about how he doesn't understand the argument of why people gank in high sec. And that he refuses that the reasoning behind it is just to be an asshole. He's like, that's not a valid excuse to gank people, it's just to be an asshole. And that's his, like, Care Bear brain. And so he tried to make the argument that ganking should not be allowed unless it's profitable for that person. Like, oh my god, you can't gank. Yeah, exactly, Ghoster. Yeah, that's pretty much how everybody feels. And then he basically came out on his YouTube channel to, I think it's his couple thousands of subscribers, and basically said that he was going to stop making any content whatsoever. He wasn't going to stream. He wasn't going to record videos. He wasn't going to do anything until CCP does something about the ganking problem within EVE Online.
Well, that's
Bye.
terrible. Don't
People
let
need
the
to
door hit him
understand.
in the
Another
ass.
NC dot character refuses to undock. Shocker.
People need to understand that when it comes to being an asshole,
I think you're
what you're doing is you're
You're
profiting off of other people's emotions. That is completely valid.
the thing
to
is,
improve your
you're
self-worth.
Mifune has not laid out the argument correctly. Mifune is
I never do.
speaking weirdness. No. You're close, but what his problem was is not that he's getting ganked, it's that while he's on stream, he's getting harassed and bumped, and people are trying to ruin
Poor
his
guy.
stream content for hours.
couldn't
so
happen
after
to a
hours of
nicer
dealing with-
fella.
Shut up, Ghost, or else you're gonna leave.
That's
Like-
pretty funny.
Like,
How do
and
we
I-
do?
so
How do
I-
we find this guy? What's the link to
So-
the stream?
I understand the feeling behind it, because if we were trying to stream and people are coming in messing with it, you know, let's say we set up a really nice like event or whatever, and people are coming to ruin it, and it's not funny, it's not entertaining, they're just literally ruining everything that you're trying to do. It's frustrating because there's nothing in game to stop that per se, depending upon where you're at or who you know or what they're doing or what ship they're in. It is very situational, but that's what he was bitching about, not just high sec ganking. He's bitching about the
Okay.
fact that people are griefing him in high sec when he's trying to stream.
Looking through those optics, then I would say CCP will be doing something about it.
Well, I've been
That means that
advocating.
streamers. I love how Mifune just interrupted me. That means that streamers basically it's not fun to stream, and that's not good for any
Eve's a-
video company. Yeah.
Eve's a terrible game to stream in
Eve-
general, so
Eve is a terrible game to stream. I mean, everybody knows that, and I've been saying since last year that we need some, like, even if it's something small, you know, take a page from the other gaming companies out there and make a simple streamer mode. Do stuff like scramble the system name. Do stuff like scramble the stuff you see in the overview and change the text layout instead
Mifune,
of
that
player
doesn't
name.
matter. They can just do character locate and in 5 minutes know where you're at anywhere in the game if you're like,
Okay, but that puts
That
in some
doesn't stop
effort.
anything.
It doesn't fully
hold
stop
on,
it, but
hold
it makes it more of an effort, right? Like, it's not so much about stopping stream sniping altogether, because stream sniping is one, valid gameplay in a sandbox game, and is two, is actually a very fun and active thing within the EVE community. You know, it has been you know, you have plenty of EVE Online streamers out there like Rampage who actively encourage people to find and cause a fight. Nullsec FCs will constantly randomly pick a day and just start streaming a peacetime fleet just to go out there, fuck around, and hope to God they get stream sniped for cause of a fight. It is valid gameplay. But if you make it just a little harder so that it's not so much a quick glance at the streamer's stream and you actually have to put effort into hunting them, that is okay. And that's good.
yeah, but the
Don,
what he
hold
was
on, Don, hold
wanting-
on. I'm sorry to have to ask this. Who are we talking about again?
Hateless.
Hateless.
Yeah, yeah.
NC Dot, dude.
He's on TIS.
What's his name?
Hateless.
Hateless.
Hateless Gaming.
They're
I don't-
crying about getting ganked.
No, what was happening was he was trying to mine, and people were coming over in Mackinac and bumping him for an hour straight.
That
For
sounds
no
like an
other
hour of fun
game.
fucking gameplay to me.
Yeah, that sounds fun to me, man.
Of what? Of watching your orca dance around?
Not for him, for the other people.
I'm sure they had a blast.
I've done
And
it.
at
It's
some
fun.
point, and the problem is he
So-
would go to another system and they would follow him and continue over and over and over again, which is at some point considered targeting and griefing.
That's
which
even
there are
funnier.
numerous-
It's even
so
funnier now that I know
numerous-
that he was following him around.
So numerous people were finding enjoyment and pleasure out of this, and one person had an issue with it.
Well,
I'm gonna stick with the majority of subs that feed CCP
So-
Democratic system. Yeah.
either way,
finances.
So either way, it started a couple of discussions, and this week a player from Eve Echoes, an Eve Echo streamer, spoke out on the Eve subreddit, and basically he came out and within Eve Echoes, high sec is exactly that. You cannot PvP in high sec in Eve Echoes. As well as the new Chinese server, the thing that's taking over Serenity, that has no PvP in high sec at all. It is pure green safety. You cannot engage in any type of PvP. And the thing is that the Eve Echo streamer, he was talking about how no ganking in high sec ruined the economy within Eve Echoes, because since there was, you know,
Zero
since it's
risk, all reward. You're saying?
Well,
you can
not-
just go mine without even being harassed.
Not-
Why don't they
not
just make it
only-
a fucking single player
Jesus.
game then.
Why
So,
don't you just
hold
go
on.
play Minecraft?
because it's not. I'm not okay, but it's
I know,
not. It's not
a
just.
waste of time.
Yeah, it's not just that fact. It's also the fact that, you know, a nullsec player sees, oh, I can make the same amount of money, if not more, in the completely safe area. So what they do is they just put their jump clones in high sec And when they want to make ISK, they jump up there. And when they don't, they come down to null to PvP. And the thing is that everybody in Eve Echoes, the economy is ruined. Not enough ships are blowing up in space, so there's nobody doing any production because the markets are flooded. The entire, it's kind of like the middle ground between what we were at and what we are at now, where in Eve Echoes, it's just stagnant, right? The price of a ship stays the exact same for the past fucking year.
Can I ask you a serious question? Back to the hate list thing. So he was being bumped in the Mackinac for an hour, right? When you get bumped,
he was in an Orca.
Okay,
and he was
but when
being
you get
bumped by
bumped, do you lose
Mackinac.
lock or anything like that? You can still mine, right? If they're just bumping you, they're not killing him.
No.
Until
Hold
they
on.
bump you out of range.
Hold on. Let me tell you. The drones on an Orca are too slow to catch up with the ship. So they grow further and farther apart. So no, you cannot continue to mine. And your drones eventually lose connection range. You either have to warp off, and hopefully they don't steal them before you can get back on grid. But with the Orca's slow ass, that's not going to happen. So their goal is to either make sure you can't mine until you pay them off, or to steal your drones. That's what they're doing. Or to just be an asshole. Like, that's always the valid third option. So that is what they do.
I didn't know how it was affecting him. So there's a negative effect. That's fine.
Yeah, that's the problem, is you can't mine. It's not like, oh, someone's annoying me and I just kind of go back to the belt, because of how an Orca is and how the masses are between. Have you ever seen a Mackinac bump a Nyx?
Yeah.
It's insane that they can take this giant ship and launch it dozens of kilometers, if not like 30 kilometers, with one bump from a Mackinac. It's ridiculous.
Well, maybe don't mine in an Orca. Maybe not passive mine in an Orca. Maybe do mine in a different ship.
But you still need an Orca on grid somewhere to boost.
You
right?
could use a porpoise to boost.
You certainly can, but the amount of storage and the boost amounts are lower, much lower.
Well,
and
if you're refusing to adapt your playstyle to that of numerous people around you, that's on you.
They can certainly adapt or not, but at the end of the day, the fact that there's no counterplay, there's no way to affect the Mackinac other than trying to get a friend to come out and I guess counter bump it, someone was trying to say, which I guess if you're good enough, you can have someone, if you can get a friend that's willing to come out and counter bump a Mackinac while you're trying to mine an Orca, I will fucking give you a billion-esque, because that does not exist.
Ghoster,
in Delve,
I'm going to meet you in HiSec. You're an Orca, I'll be in a Mackinac, and we'll bump the other guy. Billion-esque, we're going to do it tomorrow, so you're going to owe us a billion-esque.
Don, these guys are in HiSec. They don't have fucking friends.
That's some truth there, yeah.
You don't have enough people to work with in a HiSec. I know for me, like in HiSec, I was getting harassed trying to like run these sites. Obviously, like I made it work because I already knew what I had to deal with. But if I was a newer player who did not understand like how the game worked as well, or I didn't have as much resources as I do, I would become so angry and frustrated and probably fucking give up.
If you're a newer player, you wouldn't be in an Orca.
No, but I'm talking about something. I'm talking about something else. There were the Caldari Union Day, and you guys heard me talk about this when they were happening. The Caldari event sites in HiSec were a lot of fun. They were like 20 million-isk each site, and you could run them in a couple minutes. They were fun. They were ever changing. Like you didn't kind of know what you were going to get into. But what happens is other people come in and they try to steal the loot, and the only money you get is from the final thing at the end. And they always try to steal it from you, or they try to like get you to fight them and get you to like get concorded and shit. And if you don't have a friend, there's nothing you can do other than either try to be faster or just leave. There were multiple times where there was no point in like trying to fight with them over the site, that instead of engaging in content, I literally just left. That
sounds like a perfect advertisement to join a nullsec alliance and gain some friends.
And yet not a single one of you was interested in coming to HiSec to do anything. So getting friends in nullsec
we live in nullsec. Why would I go to HiSec? The only fun thing to do in HiSec is gank freighters and pubbies.
Did you ask, Don?
Bring back Bernjita.
In all honesty, did you ask people to come out there and be security for you? I'm just curious.
She did.
People said no?
Yeah.
Get better friends.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll get right on that, Dominic.
I would have come out and helped you if you had asked me. You didn't ask me.
We could have fucking.
I'm a better friend.
If I
That's,
had
like,
anybody with
scary.
some tackle, we could have fucking smoked them. Because, like, the thing is, you go through the site room to room to room, and I know that they're not watching, so all you have to do is the person with the heavy tackle just be in the room behind and come in near
No.
the end and just
But
grab
here's
them.
the
But-
thing. Here's the thing. Has this not been a thing with Eve for years? So why is it suddenly a
It
problem?
is.
And I want to
existed.
be perfectly clear too. I have no problem with ganking. If you want to kill a freighter, kill a freighter. If you want to kill a little barge with your catalyst, go ahead. I've had it happen to me. I've lost my marauders in high sec before to tornadoes, and it was only like 3 or 4, shockingly. Like, that's fine. Perfectly fine. I just don't like when either people are really rude about it in local, or they're literally just doing the bumping / griefing thing where it's just ruining the game for that
It's
person
not.
for an extended period of time. If you gank somebody, you're only potentially ruining their moment or giving them that emotional feel for a couple minutes. That's reasonable and fine.
But
when you're
harass
dragging it out for hours, it's ridiculous. Get out, like,
bumping bumping
the
high sec
person-
miners
the
out.
person had to willingly sit there for hours and allow this to happen to themselves. So, I mean, you can't sit there and go, oh, this shouldn't happen for hours. It takes both parties for this to happen for hours. If you don't like somebody bumping your fucking orca and you're trying to play a multiplayer game solo in high sec, log your fucking orca off. Dock
but
it
then
up,
you don't get
get
your
a
very
different ship.
expensive drones back, dumbass.
Boo-hoo, go buy more. They sell them in
They
Jita
make
every
no
day.
money in high sec.
Yes, they
How are gonna afford
do.
it? No,
Then
they
how did they
don't.
afford the
High
drones
sec-
in the first place?
High
I
sec
have
is the
seen
second.
money. It is
High-
not a lot of money, guys.
High
They
sec
can't
is the
afford
second most
drones.
profitable
How
area
do
in
they
the
have
game.
them in the first place?
I
When
would
you
like
sit
to
there
address-
and mine at high sec, the only reason why you make any money is by having multiple accounts, not just by having an orca sitting there boosting for the fleet. Like,
John,
If you
I'd
have
like to
multiple
address what you
accounts,
just
how
said.
do you not have more ships helping not bump your orca?
I'd like to address what Don just said about the person bumping it for hours, ruining a person's game for a long time, right? So it's a big difference between bumping somebody who's new to the game for hours as opposed to bumping a streamer. Big difference.
And playing
right?
with a fucking orca.
Yeah, but a big difference, right? If you're
And
bumping a new
watching the
person
dude
and are
continue to
griefing them
let
for no
this
reason to
happen.
get them to quit, I agree. If you're bumping a streamer, that's not the same thing, right? That person's streaming. It's kind of like being a celebrity type thing with the paparazzi. You're going
Right,
to have
but
to
my
accept
personal-
some loss of like not anonymity, but loss of some of your privileges that like you would normally have as a nobody. If you're straight, right? That's a thing.
Wow. Well,
So-
we're going to interrupt our
Yep, go
discussion.
ahead.
Everyone shut
Yeah,
the
so
hell
we'd
up,
like
yeah.
to welcome a very special guest, an honored guest, dare I say, a Goon legend. Once a wise man told me that every alliance should have their own Atrium Beneficus. What's going on, buddy?
Is that how you say your last name?
I just go with Atrium. I don't know. That works on the back.
Where'd that name come from?
So I started playing Atrium is a 2007 character when I first started playing Eve, and I had recently graduated from college with my computer science and classics, and I had a thing for Latin, and it means like dark wizard, so it's stupid nerdy, and that's how we roll in 2007.
Are you a dark wizard IRL?
I do not have a robe or wizard hat.
All
Are
right,
the
that's
Oh,
satanic
that's
text
disappointing.
behind you on that bookshelf? No.
so
They're-
you're a alliance director. What are you actually the director of?
So I have been in charge of Alliance SRP since 2011. I also handle all goon fucking matters on the 1DQ1 market and our deployment staging areas. And I also
Your
do the
goon
monthly
fucking
participation.
matters.
Yeah, I also do the monthly participation metrics.
So the goon fucking. Greg, you got some questions on the goon fucking I want to hear.
Well,
First, okay, I got a couple. I came up with a couple, and this is like specifically reading into like the pings that you put out. Have you ever put somebody on the Goonfucker ACL and went, yeah, I'm fucking glad I finally got that cocksucker.
isn't that everybody?
And kind of like a follow up to that, have you ever put somebody on and went, oh man, I really don't want to put that guy on. He's a good dude, but he's goon fucked.
So there have been a couple of Goonwolf members and Amok Dot members that have found their way onto the Goonfucker ACL, and I felt bad, but I universally apply the rules to all, so they got fucked, and I didn't spare them the shame ping either. But then there's been a few corps like I don't know, Cruzados or the entire Dracari's alliance that I feel pretty good when I get to nail one of them to the wall.
Hey, I don't goon fuck. I'm the guy
What?
that's trying to supply shit half the time.
Here's a good question. What was probably the largest goon fuck you've ever seen that you've had to put someone on the ACL for? Like, what's the largest margin
what's
you've
the
ever
record?
seen? Like, what is the record for that?
What do I got to beat?
So most of the time, right, I just catch people that are like simple relisting. They buy something on 1DQ and they throw it up higher, and it's like dumb shit like Quake medium ammo or just like low dollar, like why are you that dumb? But a couple times we've caught like individuals or entire corps that are like funding their corporation operations by ripping cheap shit like off of 1DQ and sending it to Jita. And I think the biggest haul that we nailed, I don't remember exactly which corp, but he was like a Russian guy, and it was something on the order of 50 billion when we kind of put everything together. 50 billion of what he ripped off of like 1DQ and probably resold in Jita for like double that.
Jeez.
And so it was like
trucker heist, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we noticed it because he was ham-handed with like trit, right? Like we're gonna notice if like all the trit on the 1DQ market disappears, and that got us like poking into everything else he's doing. So by the time it was all tallied up, it was a stupid amount of ISK.
Some people were asking what DQ stands for. It's Dairy Queen. Just in case you guys weren't aware, we live at a Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen headquarters. Yeah.
We live in Dairy Queen. So, when did you join Goon Swarm in general?
Yeah, you're like an old goon, right? Like ancient.
So I joined Goon Swarm Corporation in early 2010 after I'd got back from an Iraq deployment. And I was in Delve the first time in Goon Swarm for about a month. And then we lost it all and lived in Syndicate and Cloud Ring. And we did Mr. V fleets. That's when he got good at bombing, and Boat was running around in like Drakes everywhere. And, you know, it was just the homeless goon, the dark times of 2010. And then we ended up. Yeah. So if you sort like the Goonwolf member corp by members, like oldest to newest, I'm at the top, last man standing.
And I got some people in our audience won't know Goonwafa is looking for a new CEO.
So yeah, that's where I was going. So you're saying it's yours by default, then?
We are not looking for a new CEO because that was a particular axe of our interim alliance executive, and he's kind of quit. And Asher and I were both like, it's kind of dumb, and we don't really see any need to change anything. So I'm essentially running things day to day, but we're just like,
oh, you're not the CEO.
I'm not the CEO.
No, I'm the CEO,
director.
Yeah.
XTZ has like the actual CEO character in the corp, but he's pretty much just AFK doing XTDZ things. So.
Woo! So I'm getting my wish, which is nothing to change. Everyone's like, oh, Goonwolf is going to have to do PAPs now. You guys are going to have to do corp shit. We're like, not a damn one of us actually wants that to happen.
Clear. Sanchke wanted PAPs. Nobody else wanted PAPs.
Yeah, that is true. I want Atrum to have a lot of PAPs. Yeah.
I don't know, Atrum, how...
people too. When I inevitably get the CEO position, anyone who has opposed me will get PAPs as a punishment.
Yeah, I mean...
requirements.
I would say that like after Mittens resigned, right, there was a whole bunch of like finger pointing among active Goonwolf members of like, are you going to be CEO? And all of us were just like Spider-Man pointing at the other person, right? And nobody really wanted it.
I
And
beg to differ on that part.
Well,
It's not
I
my fault you
actually
guys don't.
Yeah.
It's not my fault you guys don't want to consider the people who are willing to do it. Because I know Shansky was willing to do it. I'm willing to do it.
I
and then
was
there's the
willing
option
to
of
entertain it, and then I saw your platforms and was like, "Fuck no! I'd rather go to a muck dot."
You should.
You gotta be confident. Yeah.
It's okay. That is because Goonwolf would be better like that. And just for the
Oh
record,
my god, dude! You can't say
Don was
that.
actually my nomination when it came to like, oh shit, we need a new CEO for Goonwolf. I'm like, oh, let's have Don do it.
Okay,
But
to be fair,
no
Atrim,
wonder.
the only reason why I put in even anything up there, which was once again, it's all 100% joke, is because Arendis already said there was no way I was gonna get it, and I was like, oh well, okay, I'm just gonna fuck Arend then because I don't give a shit. But and also Kumi said it too that I wouldn't that they were like, we passed right over you. I'm like, that's not fair. I can yell at people. I take care of Theta and like we don't cause problems.
What?
What?
You were not earlier, Don. Jesus.
Did you cause a problem? Did I have to hear about it? I don't think so.
No.
I'll beg to differ.
My
On that one.
platform
later.
is communal. It is a community focused thing, which I believe Goonwolf has been deprived from our last CEO, who I don't think logged in. I think he did once during the war to do that that Delta Squad fleet. If you guys can remember that. When they all got
Atron,
battered.
just give Sansky like some random title to shut him the fuck up.
Can you take away his communication role so that way he stops
I
sending
did.
Okay, what Don just said is why I removed my nomination. Court mails must be on constantly. Man, yeah, when Ragnar came out, and he's like, I want to be CEO. Two things scared me. He's like, one, that is kind of a legitimate candidate. Ragnar's been around a long time. He knows his shit, okay, so they could consider him. But then he was like spewing shit like, hey, we'll just have court mails on the weekends. I'm like, okay, fucking never mind. Search continues, and it's me. Because I'm the one who just has the fucking brain to realize that court mails makes this court go, makes it go forward.
Would it shock you that
did
I've never
give
read a
Sansky
single one?
random title, by the way. If you look him up, his character, he does have a special title.
Is it fuck nut?
No. See, when I was like, we should have PAPs. You know, we should have people log on. And everyone fucking no one liked that. So I'm like, okay, never mind. But Atrum took that very instant right there and go in and change my title to the guy who wanted PAPs. I'm like, okay.
Don't worry, Major has my corp title is Slow Pass because in Vegas passing the blunt was incredibly slow with me. I was like a fucking grandma, and so Major coined it in Vegas.
Don't do
So
drugs, Mifune. It makes you slow.
a lot of people are asking, what are court mails? So in E,
They're male strippers.
Mail
No.
yeah, mail strippers.
No. He's new because he's one of my buddies that plays Albion. But court
Yeah, you have a
mail
mail system in EVE Online. No one fucking uses it because for the most part it's useless. You don't talk over other platforms like Discord. You don't use court mails. But the funny thing about Goonwolf is we're so fucking large, and if you have the mobile app, this is why I find it so entertaining. And you get a court mail, it'll actually notify you on your phone. So wherever you are, you know, you're out of the game, you haven't played the game in 3 months, you get this notification of some
You have an
asshat sending you a court mail, and it just sends it to like hundreds of people, and it's like it's so fucking annoying, but that's why it's so funny.
So
I mean, no joke. One of the reasons that Tizzy retired was court mails, and that is like just hilarious.
Impact.
Wait, that's why Tuzzy retired? That's a
Yeah.
fucking court
It was
mails?
one of the reasons Delta trolled him out with court mails, and it just to this day.
No, dude.
Yeah,
see,
why do you think I hate them so much, Mifune? Like,
You love
I
them.
have my
Shut the
reasons.
up. You love them. You love them.
No, I have not
Don't say
read.
You don't love them. You're lucky. You're just
I have
lying.
not read
You're
a
lying.
single court mail that anyone has sent in the past
I
2
send
years.
out a corporate fact of the day pretty much every day for the past 3 months.
And
You haven't
I
had a
have-
single one of them.
Not a single one, because ever
Oh my
since they said
God.
we're going to keep them on Mondays or whatever, I said turn off blinking. Never going to look at these again. Hope there's nothing important.
Well, you got like 3,000 unread mails right
Oh
now.
no, I go into the box, right click, mark as read, delete all. Like I clear it out every now and then, but I don't read them.
so you clear it out like your regular email. That's great.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're not going to send anything important, then I don't care. Go
They're
back
all
to you're going to be
important,
jumping.
yeah.
So what
I
do
want
you
to
do
go back
in
to
the
goon
game,
fucking for
Atrim?
a minute.
Yeah.
Do you like fly around and shoot other people, or like what gets you off playing Eve Online?
I would say that I go through lulls of activity and not so much logging in. And post war, I went through kind of a 6 month where I adjudicate reimbursement slap fights, and I check the market over and kind of do those administrative not in Eve things. And that lasted. I mean, I was burned out. So that lasted a bit, but I went on like a Mifune like fleet, Ferox fleet to Brave Space like a couple weeks ago, like last week, and
Where we
it just
annihilated them.
yeah. So I mean I look at the pings, and if it looks like something cool, then I'll go on it. I mean I don't need to like. I mean I'm old money rich, right? I've been playing Eve since 2007, so I don't need anything. So it's just kind of whatever captures my fancy.
Now, I do want to know. You talked about how you were head of reimbursement. You do post it, I believe, a lot of the metrics every month or so. Is there like a kill mail or kill mail experience, a story that like sticks out to you the most, like where you were just like, "What the fuck?" that someone was doing, or like someone had the audacity to come and argue with you, and you were just flabbergasted by it?
Um, Not so much the arguing. Probably my favorite kill mail of all time was, I mean, it was like the height of the tech empire, and Reavers had just launched as a SIG, and Asher and Kumi went like big balling on Bargus, right? And so it is the first time, like the inaugural rollout of the Bargus pancake fleet. And Asher is like super proud of his like, I don't know, $100 billion like damn near full fleet, and he's flying in his Nestor like command ship, like, and then we panic warp out to a random asteroid, and his ass like lands in the asteroid model, and then he gets stuck, and like boom, he's dead, just gone, and it's just hung up on a stupid ass asteroid. And then of course he has to submit it for reimbursement, and I rip on him for it. I make a character named Asteroid Elias that's like, I don't, he's just sitting on one of my accounts. And I bring up that kill mail like anytime he gets cocky. It's just kind of that remember this, remember your mortal kind of thing.
L minor kill mail.
But yeah, I mean, it's fairly regular for a new corp. I mean, I got into it with like War Eagle Fleet just after they joined because I shit talked like their crab director. I just did, it wasn't even something I would remember the next day. Just typical, like, no, you're an idiot, ripped on him. And then his CEO comes into that thread, like talking like big ball. And so I just start ripping on him too.
I remember that thread. It was pretty entertaining.
Now, some people see you as scary, or like I'll be like, "Oh yeah, go ask Atrum about it," and I have some people be like, "Oh no, I don't want to talk to Atrum." Atrum, are you really that scary?
No, not really. I mean, there is a persona that I put on when I'm in reimbursement mode, because when I first started doing that job in 2011, I was very customer focused and friendly, and it turns out if you give like nerds half of an inch, they're going to take like the full yard, right? And so I was just getting blown up with just, can I hold your pee and wipe for you, just dumb shit. So then I started like putting on some spikes, and especially if it's like stuff that I've already posted, like read the damn post, right?
Literally
and so,
a bitter bit. Yeah, it's perfect.
yeah, those are the things that like somebody comes to me with like a question and it's like new, or I haven't answered that, or like it's legit understandable. Like I tend to answer the question, be nice. But if it's like a thing that has been an Ask a Director, like it's still like 3 or 4 threads on the front page, then yeah, they're gonna get a you're wasting my time slap back.
Well, so that's good, because I've only gotten those from any director I ever messaged. And most of the time, it's not even asking a question. I'm saying, hey, what's going on? I don't know if you guys remember, but a while back I had a concussion, and I was on Eve, and I think I remember just like spamming fucking Asher with just the stupidest shit. I don't really remember what I said because I had a concussion.
You know,
and I think you didn't talk to me after that.
When are you going to recover from this concussion, Sanchki?
I've been told to go to the doctor. I don't know. It's either the concussions, like
Is
fuck
it-
something up permanently, or it's cancer. Whatever.
are you going to be like
gotta
that
be
one
careful.
football player last week that got put on the field even though he had a concussion and then he got hit again? What's his name? Well, I don't follow football too much, so I forget the guy's name, but I'm not sure if y'all heard about that.
He's going to make a lot of money suing them.
Oh, he
I
is.
know it was Herschel Walker. No,
No.
that's the wrong guy. He was in the news for other reasons.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so Atrum,
Anyway.
Atrum, I've been following like your posting on Goon forums for a long time. What is your inspiration for such terrible posting? Like, who did you learn from?
This is gonna date me. So there was my previous reimbursement director was a guy named Kefron, and I adopted a lot of the reimbursement persona from him, and he was a funny dude because in real life he was like an AT&T Uverse installer in like the swamps of Louisiana, and so like if you can imagine a more soul-sucking job, I can't really imagine it. So his like Eve persona was actually his real life, like I hate everything that I'm doing persona, and so there was that. And then the style of posting where you have like the center picture and you have like a narrative and you're like talking to the audience, like that was very much something that I liked about Indy. I mean, there's a lot of things I dislike about Indy, like mostly him being a like backstabbing asshole, but he posted well, and you know, you take the things that work and adopt it into your own.
You have a long history with something awful too, so you obviously cut your teeth there, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, so I got the first time I went to Something Awful was when they still did like Photoshop Fridays. So this would have been like, I don't know, like 2002, 2003. I got an account much later, 2008, 2009 is when I finally registered. But I started out in like goons and platoons because I was a military guy. And so you read there. I liked Pet Island, and then I realized that those people are real crazy about their pets, and it was not a place I wanted to be. And then like started getting into the games forum and following a lot of those games, and I also recommend Goons with Spoons if you want to just find some random recipes for good stuff to eat. That's a great place to go.
See, I am definitely well versed in random ass home recipes that are actually really great. Considering me and my mother have a recipe we call cheeseburger meatloaf, which is literally just 2 pounds of ground beef with cheese stuffed in the middle and cooked like a meatloaf. It's fucking delicious.
Well, you have to write it out for us, Mifune.
Nah, I'm good.
Well, that was a terrific conversation, Mifune.
You know what? Shut the fuck up, Sanji.
No, please keep talking, man. We all like listen to you.
Listen, Sanchki,
Yeah, I
you
highly
know
doubt
this
that.
is just a part of everything. There's just sometimes where Mifune goes on a story that may not
You're
connect
right.
anything, but it's what
It's what happens when you have an ADHD brain. It's what happens when you have an ADHD brain and your ADHD is really bad.
Oh, I get it.
All right, there's been
Okay.
enough softballs, Atrum. There's been enough softballs. Where is this game going? This is a fucking shitty question, man, because it's so hard to answer.
So it's interesting, right? Like I think, and I mean, it feels like, or maybe that's just the optimist in me, that CCP has finally kind of gotten the like shit or get off the pot message of like they actually have to deliver things, they have to deliver content. And so, we finally saw some of that come with this new faction warfare patch, and they've hung a lot of they've hung a lot of hope on this revamp of faction warfare, which we've been promised for like a decade. And so I'm just kind of like, I'm happy that they're actually making content again. We'll see how good it is. I'm going to withhold judgment on that, but I think this is kind of the thing that they've hitched their wagon on for now. If that doesn't work, then maybe we see stuff like they fix the DBS, or they roll back some of that stuff that like we think could increase people in nullsec again if they did it. But we'll see how the faction warfare piece comes out.
So what do you think Eve's gonna be, or Goons, I guess specifically, in a year? It's gonna be like just this new lively thing, gonna be the same, or it's gonna be like dead, like that ghost in the background of your camera keeps walking around?
That would be my wife, and I'll let her know. So there you go.
See, at first I thought it was going to be like the Scream movie where you get a phone call and they ask you what your favorite scary movie is.
No.
Because that's what it looks like.
Where do you think Goons is gonna be in a year? Like, what are we gonna look like? Is it gonna be dramatically different?
So that's the part that like really reassures me about Asher as our executive, because his like main focus is, and I'm trying to distill like every Illume meeting that I've sat in for the past month, but like retention is huge. Like, how do we keep people in the alliance? How do we keep people happy? Listening to our people, doing the things that they want to do and that they're interested in. And you kind of see that with like Pochvin becoming a thing, right? Because I'm probably the biggest like fuck Pochvin guy ever, but like we finally got one guy in charge of the entire like herd of cats, right?
Probably the best man in the game, yeah. I would argue.
Contanen's running it. If something is fucked up, like I can go talk to him and get it fixed, right? So that's happening, and that was kind of like, right into what do people want to do. The other piece, Asher wants to make it easier for people to go in, get into the org. So traditionally, like, it's been huge about, we gotta prevent spies, right? We have to do all these checks before we let something in. But if you let in a new guy, like realistically, what damage can they do? They can AWOX, and there's not a whole lot of people in space right now. So I don't know what they're gonna blow up one of Don Rhea's Vorkals or mining barges. Like, I'm tempted to do that some days myself. So
yeah, me too.
Whatever.
Hey,
I think
that's so rude to anyone.
So yeah, I think making, Asher is focused on doing activities that are fun for people and making it easy to join, making it easy to get involved, and trying to keep you around and interested in the game. And so, as a very popular FC, he can affect that change much more easily than, say, like a politician type CEO who has to like, tap people to go do it. Asher can just say, hey, we're going to deploy over here and I'm going to lead the fleets, right? Like, so that part makes me feel good about our alliance. And I think, time is just going to show like, hey, this is a fun place. And we'll start pulling in people from other groups that they start realizing it's less fun, right?
I think having us making money in Delve is probably a good thing again too.
I think it goes. I really like the new stuff that's going on with making money in Delve, because it's not just good because people are making money, which is like a huge part of it, but the other thing is that it's bringing the content to us. For what, since the Delve War ended, as an FC, the first thing I do when I log on in the night is I go look for wormholes, and I go to see, is there a wormhole for me to ram a bomber fleet through P-Horde space? Is there a wormhole for me to ram a fleet through Frat space, right? And ever since the Delve War ended, from an FC perspective, P-Horde they have their own bounty system similar to how we have the Skull Collection. And in P-Horde's bounty system, they were actually paying out ISK for Horde members that would close and roll wormholes leading to the south. Right? Like, if there was a wormhole connecting Delve to Paragon Falls in any way, shape, or form, it would get closed 30 minutes later because some P-Horde dude would take a rolling praxis and get paid out, right? And now that we actually have the wheels of Delve turning and the Delve time unit starting to make that big return, P-Horde is no longer going to close those wormholes because P-Horde is going to want to use the same exact wormholes to get to us for the content, and that's fine. Like, we tried getting the content out there. We tried having constant peacetime fleets every day. We tried getting people out there to be engaged and have fun, and while it worked, it didn't work as effective as people want it to be. So if you can't go find the content, have the content come to you. And that's exactly what's going on, and it's great.
And I mean, traditionally, that's been a problem with like too many combat SIGs, right? Because like it sounds great to have your ISK making alt and maybe a alpha alt like back home to protect the motherland, but like if you're involved in a SIG like attacking Brave or attacking Pandemic Horde, like that typically for like the guys that really like combat stuff, they've invested like all their dudes and all their like a good portion of their material and their activity and their attention over to where the deployment is. And so they're not like popping in on the alpha to go on the Delve home defense fleets because there's probably something going on in that deployment over there. And so as cool as it always sounded in theory to like, oh, you know, in the downtime over here, you can do your ISK making in Delve, or you can do the defense in Delve, that really never worked because on a lot of those deployments, they were near 24-hour ops. And so those guys' attention was like focused there. And so I've always preferred defensive wars and defensive activities. Like I loved when Pappy invaded us because like, oh man, like 1DQ, undock, boom a Thrasher into T5Z with Delta like night after night and get like 10 million per Thrasher in reimbursement. Like that is the most fun I've had in this game since we were like homeless in Syndicate.
Yeah, I think everyone misses, you know, the next door T5Z adventures.
Oh no,
I can't think of a
absolutely.
single person who looks back, oh man, it was so inconvenient. We're just going next door and doing fucking why, you know? Yeah,
And that's the
those
thing.
are the glory days.
And I think it's great that we're encouraging that content to come to us. And I think it'll make it makes us feel better about PvP. It makes our enemies feel worse because they have the travel time, right? Like it's going to be a great thing for not only the short term but the long term. It's going to be great. I mean, I still miss the 2019 days of logging on a Friday night and saving 12 Rorquals in one night. You know, like I miss those days. Those were fun days. That's what made peacetime so fun.
Well, I look forward to murder deathing.
To what?
Just go
Wait,
ahead.
we have a question in chat. Or they could just not fight y'all and go up north instead. I have a news flash for you. They live up north. They are blue to all the surrounding alliances up north. The only place they can go for PvP is down here.
I love being in Goons because everyone just hates you. It's so beautiful, you know?
The salt
You don't
mining.
do anything. You just exist, and people just want to fight you. I'm like, oh, thank God, you know? It's like harmony to me.
I will say, if you've not been in the new Beehive channel, it is relatively fun. What's also fun is watching the FCs die a little bit inside as you get miners talking about rocks. I was like, you're not stopping me, boy.
Wait, so the miners hang out in there all the time?
Yeah. Ragnar, Chippy, and I were in there talking about rocks, and Doll was up there going, I did not know that A, you could go this long about talking about rocks, and B, how much I would want to blow my brains out doing it, listening to you. I'm like, well.
And this goes back to the AWOCs, and you know, sometimes just gotta.
Sorry.
Now, Atrim, where do you hang out in
talking about
comms?
rocks.
Where do you hang out in Mumble?
Most of the time, if I get onto comms, it's usually with the Delta Squad Discord. That's Delta or Amok's Discord. I can be active over there too. Last time I've gotten on Mumble, I mean, I used to hang out in Theta way back in the day when we had Space Dad and we had Rust keeping a lid on comms. But when they both kind of retired and Don took over, it kind of went to shit. So I stopped hanging out there.
What? You didn't
Why?
hang out with
Man,
Theta Comms for the 5 years I've been in there, so I don't want to hear it, mister.
Yeah, because
Hey,
it got really bad.
That was before I ever took over. Thank you.
Would
That's
you-
when
Don,
Jay
don't be
Camille
offended.
there
Would
was
you-
You're
there.
talking to a man who's in Delta Squad. It's not even
Would you
in
make
Goose
me a-
anymore, okay?
would you make me a
Don, you're
promise,
great at what you
Atrum?
do.
Would
What's
you
that?
give us another chance? Would you come and hang out with us one evening?
Well, if they're going to talk about rocks the entire time, then
No, we
let's-
talk about all sorts of cool stuff.
They just talk
Mainly
about
scum
and shit.
these days.
I can't find any good examples of what we talk about to say over Twitch without getting this account blacklisted. But we sometimes say some good stuff out there, you know.
We were talking
We're
about
talking about-
We always talk
Mitch
about
got
it.
some
Nick.
good
We're
stuff to
talking
talk
again.
about earlier today.
Yeah, it was Lion was speaking up, speaking their mind. It was wonderful. Yeah, no, I talk about great things there. Yeah, definitely stop by. But at the same time, I don't want any Delta scum in Theta. That would be unfortunate.
Wow.
There's been a kind of a rivalry between Theta and Delta for like a
And we
long,
won.
long
It's not really
time.
a rivalry when you win, you know.
We
I was
did
just
win
gonna
that
say, is it really a
contest, didn't we?
rivalry when one side doesn't do anything?
That's
So
mean,
that's the
Manuel?
thing, right? Like for the longest time, like Theta was the last squad standing. I mean, technically there was Sigma, but really all we did in that was get on Jabber and talk about weed and goats and like and pass memes around, right? There was like very little Eve activity. But like Theta, you know, we had the Declan umbrella, like JU standing, right? Like Zungin would lead a fleet every night with he would roll a new alt and go like catch stuff, and we would be sitting on Ted's Titan and just drop on anything that moved, right? And that was like, you know, peak Theta up in the day, and then it went kind of through a lull, and then we lost Declan. And we come to Delve, and then it became the de facto place that you did your Rorqual mining, right? That was the umbrella like squad. So Delta comes along during the
Then
war,
CCP
and they're
said,
all
"Fuck that."
yeah, and then like CCP gutted Rorquals, right? And so Theta went through a bit of a funk after that because, I mean, the whole game went through a huge funk, right? Like we just took away everybody's like favorite thing to do. Like,
I mean,
who doesn't
think
love
about it.
16 boxing.
It was literally because of Dawn. It had nothing to do with Rorquals. It was all they were after Dawn specifically just to piss her off. I mean, I know that's a fact.
No,
It
yeah,
has to be proven.
CC, it's been
I mean, I
proven.
would say
They hate her, right?
If you-
So they
no,
do
no,
all this
no.
stuff just to piss her off.
If you
I
think
would
about
say,
it,
in
right?
all honesty, they legitimately went after Goons with that one.
They did.
That's hard to
that's the
argue against
thing,
that, right?
is we
It really is hard to
told
argue against that.
Yeah, we told them what we were going to do with those Rorquals in Delve. Like, I shit you not, the CSM was like, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. And then we did exactly what we told them would happen. And of course, like, we had enough stored minerals to like literally outlast rest of Eve, right, in a big space war. And that a lot of those materials were generated from all those Rorquals in the years prior.
Age of Rorqual.
Oh, so you're saying we were cheating? Oh, okay.
No, we took N
were
N
better
plus
at the rest of
1
the game,
and made it N times 1,000.
We were dirty cheaters and they hated us. What do you do?
Oh, that's true.
You're saying Dawn single-handedly won the war for
Don
us.
single-handedly
We played the
won
game
game.
better than the rest of the
And
game.
won the
Like,
war
what do you
and
want?
ruined the game, both, right?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good
Don.
job, Don.
Exactly.
You want
Good
solid
job.
infrastructure, you
Right,
come to
yeah.
Goon Swarm. You want a shit show, you go
Right.
anywhere else in nullsec. We play the game better than everybody else, and they have to just continuously keep curb stomping us down every time we get too good for them.
So
You're not wrong.
no. But if you think about it, right, they really did go after Dawn because they said that nullsec was too safe to make money in, and who kept nullsec safe? Theta Squad. It's literally Theta Squad. That they targeted Theta Squad.
No,
Good talk.
I think
Looking at it.
Satanek is
Okay.
wrong. We are kind of a shit
Between
show
Theta
sometimes.
Squad and Delta Squad, we definitely changed the game a few times.
Yeah.
One for the better. I'm not sure which one though. That's up to Chad. So I'm
Who's Chad?
seriously reading.
Oh,
I don't
Chad.
know.
I thought you said Chad.
No, Chad. Yeah, with a T. Sorry,
Oh, I thought you were
I'm-
talking to me. Sorry.
Chad. Yeah. I'm learning German right now, so all my T's and D's are getting mixed up quite a bit. My V's and W's as well.
Wo ist der Bahnhof? Ein Bier bitte.
That's all you really need to know.
That's all you really need to know. Wo ist die Toiletten? That's it, right?
Yeah. Just like the only Spanish phrase I need to know is dos cerveza, por favor.
Yeah, well, here in
Oh,
Austria,
you need a little bit more than that.
No.
Donde está el baño?
¿Dónde está das biblioteca?
Mi pene es muy enorme.
You can't read, Mifune.
No, I can't read. I took French in high school, like an idiot.
All right.
See-
Well, we have been going for a while, and I don't want to hold Atrim up. I appreciate. Shut up. I appreciate that you came on to hang out with us today. But I think we'll go ahead and do final thoughts, and then you want to talk to Atrim. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you lose your drones on my fleet, make sure to submit your drones for SRP to Atrim.
Especially if they were bumped. If you were an Orca and you were bumped away from them, lost them that way. Definitely SRP those.
Man,
Adrian,
I
do you
submit
appreciate-
SRPs for fucking everything.
Yeah.
And I've received the best messages of my life always come from Adrian rejecting pretty much 90% of all the SRPs. They should be rejected. You know, he does his job pretty well, right? But man, he's usually so nice about it. Call me
Adrian,
a
do you
fuckhead and everyone.
appreciate meme SRP requests?
So one of my Christmas presents from a fellow goon, he went through all the rejected SRP requests, and he got me a package of ships of like rejected fits, and it was actually like incredibly thoughtful. It made me twitch a little bit because I'm looking at like maelstroms and scimitars and just other things that I remember rejecting and being like, oh, F that guy. But it's probably like the best Christmas gift I've ever gotten because he named the ships with like the person that I had denied and like the bad fit and everything. So that was pretty
Awesome.
cool.
That's a fantastic gift. Absolutely.
But moving forward, we
So-
don't. You don't want any meme SRP requests. So please make sure you're fit right.
Yeah.
Make sure you have all your fucking shit in your cargo, please.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so funny, right? Because we get like, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 reimbursement requests a month from the Alliance, and I handle maybe 20 or 30 personally, like when I'm on a fleet and bored or just, or Mifune blows up our entire fleet and I just decide to pay it out like while I'm there.
Whoa.
Like you do.
Give me
But,
some credit there. We only lost 4 Feroxes.
You got me killed, and that's what mattered.
It's because you weren't anchored properly.
Right.
I don't know if you can call him out for that.
I remember if the other Thetans can remember when I originally took out the OG Bumblebees fleet before we had the Flycatcher fleet. I lost the whole fleet, and it was like a ton of Flycatchers with like a ton of missile launchers, which no one fucking knew what I was doing. It's like it's like Flycatchers out for a fleet. Fucking lost the whole fleet because I had no idea what I'm doing. And I think Atrim got he ran all those. He got really pissed at me, and then saw that I was like losing the most ships that month. That got me permanently banned from skirmish banners the first time. So yeah, I go way back with Atrim.
Yeah.
My favorite part is that you were the first one to be like, let's do Flycatcher fleet. And then they were like, no. And then all of a sudden, wham, now we do it.
Yeah, and you were one of those
Constantly.
people, Don. Yeah, you were like, that's stupid thing. You're fucking stupid. I'm like dinosaurs. Just want to try to play the game, man.
The Flycatcher fleet worked out well enough that I decided to drop the cloak requirement from all dictors. So you can take credit for that, Sanchki.
All right.
Ahead of your time, sir. Ahead of your time.
Too far ahead.
Let's move on to final thoughts. Who do we got? Gosher? We'll just go down the list.
Well, first, I just want to thank Atrim for actually showing up and tolerating us. I know that he's a pretty intimidating person within Goon Swarm sometimes, but really friggin' cool to just hang out with him on comms. I have one question for him in my final thoughts. Are you going to Vegas?
I am not going to Vegas. As you've seen, my significant other walking behind me. We have a 4-year-old and a 20-month-old, and I floated the idea and was emphatically told no, that I would be leaving her alone for a week with the little girls. So
Understandable. The rest of my final thoughts: high set ganking, griefing, and bumping are some of my favorite pastimes within this game, Dawn, and
That's nice.
I think they are well within the confines of the sandbox that seems to continuously be shrinking. So yeah, I don't have any issues with any of those, and I've been the guy who's been bumped and killed before too. I think the Goonfucker ACL is a really, really awesome necessity. I have one suggestion. I think once somebody gets on the Goonfucker ACL and doesn't stop goonfucking, can we keep them in the Alliance and just make them like a shoot on sight ACL?
That would be nice. Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Just they undock, we shoot them. They redock, they buy some shit on the market to relist. They undock, we shoot them, and repeat. That's all I got.
I did get the Edge to approve maximizing the pod office rental and Anciplex max fees. So people on the Goonfucker ACL now have to pay like 100 mil per pod. So that's nice.
That's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
How many people are on the fucking ACL?
So
Like, do
right
you have a
now
number?
there are 6 Drakaris and 1 81 Division, or what is it? 81 Div. What is that? Black Aces? 1 Black Aces guy.
Yes.
That's it. 7 people. 7
That's
people.
it
There's a
right
thread.
now.
Oh,
I did a jailbreak. I let some people out just a couple days ago. There's a guy named Stock Lobster. I don't even remember what corp he's in, but he got thrown on it for Quake M ammo in the GEF deployment staging area. So he whined enough that I finally caved and let a bunch of people out.
Do they usually just leave once they're on the Goonfucker ACL? Sorry, I'm just completely sidelining final thoughts.
No, that is my intent, is that they quit the Alliance or the Coalition and are no longer my problem. But I recently had 3 people that have stuck with it the entire 9 months they've been on the Goonfucker ACL, sending me a message every month of like, please, sir, can I get unjailed? And I finally took pity on them and let them out.
That's
Awesome.
determination.
All right, Sansky, what do you got for us?
Oh, pretty easy final thoughts. Sansky for Goonloft CEO, so I can drive this whole corporation to the ground. Yes, the Atrium doesn't approve it because he's gonna be getting fucking papped to shit. Next thing you know, he's gonna be getting out of the game here real soon. Put on his own little ACL list. But no, Atrium, thanks for coming on. Good to see you to finally put your name to your voice to your face, because honestly, I don't know either of them. I just see everyone through the forums. I don't know what half the corp sounds like, honestly. Barely understand, what Don's saying half the time, kind of thing. But yeah, that's all.
Well, her mic is fucking terrible.
Her mic's fucking terrible, and it's been terrible for like 5 years now. I don't understand it, how you can go that long with this consistent, because you've moved houses in the past 5 years, right, Don?
It's because I'm normally on my phone.
And so your phone's like 20 years old, or you like got a mold brick or something? Just
No,
It's just wrapped in
how the
cellophane.
mumble app works.
TF-89 calculator, or just
It's
I
just how the
don't
mumble app
understand.
works.
Don't bully Don, please.
I'm
Fuck
not
off.
bullying Dawn. I'm making her stronger, but that's all I got.
Dom, what do you got for us?
I got a 2-part final thought. So anyone who's listening or is here is coming to Vegas. I hope you pull me aside and have a drink with me, because I do a lot of drinking. So it'd be easy to do. Just so I'll be there. Hopefully everybody's showing up who can show up. And the second one is to Dawn specifically. If you want to go to HiSec and mine it in Orca, I will provide cover for you, but I do expect the billion-isk.
Her.
Yeah, nothing's
If I
free,
ever-
right?
Well, she promised a billion-isk. I would do it for free. Dawn, I'd do it for free for you. For you.
Once.
Yeah, once. I didn't say every day. Once.
Sell like 20
About
plex,
8
you
minutes.
gotta
For about
build
8
there.
minutes is all I can fucking handle being around minors.
So for this week, I'll say again, get out there in space. We've got stuff going on now within the Alliance, and to get out there
Server.
and either shoot people in the face or make some ISK, because that's a thing now. And I will leave you guys with if you
Scum
can't be
server.
good, if you can't be good, be careful. Yeah, we have a scum server too. Check the other games. I can't link it right now. I guess we can move on. Atrum, did you want to say anything that maybe some words of inspiration to our Alliance?
Yeah, I would say go on fleets, man. We got some pings going out. You know, like I said, I went on a Mifune fleet just a few days ago, and it wasn't nearly as bad as people have told me it would be. So it was much better than his, meatloaf story. So go on a fleet, have fun, pay attention to Jabber.
You know what? I've always been told if I could do one thing, it's keeping a gate camp fleet entertained for fucking hours.
I don't know about entertain, but definitely not quiet.
All right, fuck your meatloaf, Mifune. What do you got for us?
Um,
Better not be about meatloaf.
No, I have one
Please be about
final.
Meatloaf.
I have one final question for Atrum, and I'm stealing this from Sunrear because I am very curious too. Has anyone ever tried to submit L minor as an SRP request?
Is that a character?
Yeah, have you never seen the L minor kid? Nah, there's no way he's
No.
never seen. Okay, so like he was a circle of two guy that got ganked in a mining ship, and pretty much like, you know how you can edit the text in notes, and someone can like edit the text of a kill mail to say something else.
Yeah.
So people have the L minor kill mail in their notes, and they change it to be like the Matani's Leviathan or something, and then you go to click on the kill mail, and it's just fucking L minor in the Mackinac.
So I think like the way the app works, someone may have submitted it one time, and then like once it's been submitted, it's not going to allow it again. So maybe one time, but that's about it.
I'm gonna have to submit L minor now.
He's gonna instantly deny it, and it'll be great.
Dawn, final thoughts?
My final thought is I appreciate everybody coming and hang out with us today. I hope everyone has a great week. And if you want to have more discussion with us, we are in Theta, or hang out with us in Beehive. We try to limit our amount of time in there at one go, just to give everybody a break, because we could talk everybody's ears off if we really wanted to. And I hope that I get to see a bunch of you in Vegas. I know I'm going to be there with Ghoster and with Dominarch, and I think Avon's going, so we should have a
Is
nice
this-
crew hanging out.
Is this the last Theta Thursday before Vegas?
No.
There's a couple more, or one more. When is it? The 22nd?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm coming in on Wednesday the 19th, so if anyone wants to do anything Wednesday night, we usually have like a small crew Wednesday night to go do stuff, so if you
I
need
will be there
something to
Wednesday
do,
night.
hit us up. Yep.
I'll be there Thursday morning.
Go get food, get drunk, and probably puke my guts out.
I will most likely get high, get drunk,
Yummy.
get high.
If you do it all over my face.
Ew, don't be weird.
Sansky, for fuck's sakes.
Well, don't
Yeah.
say you're puking.
Sansky,
yourself out.
why?
I'm having a good time with it. Good lord.
This is why you don't get any power, Sanchki. None at
This is
all.
why I'm gonna give all the power, Atrum. All right, shut the hell up. You're just scared right now.
Oh my
You're
god.
intimidated by the fact that you're my captain gonna be a COO or whatever.
You know,
if,
Sansky
if
pulled.
it's not you, it's gonna be someone else. I don't fucking know. And the whole corp's gonna go to shit. Then everything's gonna be missing. Corp vault's gonna be empty. Like,
Sansky pulled a knife on the Adge one time and got banned.
no, that was not the time I got banned.
That's what I heard. I
With
heard
the
you pulled a knife
slightly
on him.
response. No, I pulled
It was
knife
a gun
on every
then.
directorate at one point. Yeah,
All right.
I'm just not that smart with authority.
Listen, guys, listen. We've got to wind up the show, so we will say goodnight. I said earlier, be good. If you can't be good, be careful. Everybody, take care of one another. We got some crazy shit happening in the world right now. If you're an American woman, remember to vote.
Vote for Sansky as Goonwolf CEO. You can
Vote
do that.
early and vote often.
Hey,
Anyway, it
hey,
doesn't
Shrim's
matter.
like, nah, bro.
He's like, you can vote for him all you want.
And I'm voting for Sansky. That's how you
Oh.
submit your votes. He's doing the polls right now.
All right,
Good luck
y'all
on that
ready
one.
to send this off?
Yeah,
Send
I
it.
think we better, man, before Sansky digs himself
Yeah.
any deeper.
Yeah,
Have a
all
good-
right. Bye,
Have
guys.
a good one.
Hope y'all had a wonderful
Good night,
show,
guys.
and we'll catch y'all next
Bye.
week. Bye.